welcome to an episode of Eliteness. I am Bea, and I'm here to share insights, experiences, and things in general that I wish someone had told me earlier. Whether, you're thinking of a career move, confidence, you're just looking for inspiration, you are in the right place. Because here at Eliteness, we're all about life, work, and everything in between with an extra shot of excellence. So, shall we get started? Change, what an interesting thing, right? We fear it so much. We feel like it's the end of the world when we have to go through some change. It can be in any aspect of your life. We just don't know how to deal with it properly. What happens is we forget how much we grow through change. If you think about it, when there was a particular change in your life, it's the moment you grew the most. It's the moment you learn what you really want, what you don't want, who you want to be with, who you don't want to be with, the career path you want to take. It's only when you took that step, brave enough to embrace what was coming, it's that moment that you actually noticed, wow, I have gained so much out of it. Why was I even afraid to start with? It doesn't make sense, but we can't think about that when we are at the beginning of the change. We only see that once it's gone over. Everything's past, everything's fine, and you're reflected on what happened. It's only when you be able to see how much you learn. Personally, I'll tell you a little story of mine. So by the age of 16, I had lived in 4 completely different countries. And, sometimes it could feel like it was chaos, but it wasn't chaos. You're always the new kid, you're always having to meet new people, you're always having to get used to a different culture, a different language, a different environment. Sometimes I say this story and people look at me like, oh my God, poor thing, that's not really a good childhood. And I look and I think, wait a minute, I don't see it like that at all. If I hadn't been through all of those experiences, I wouldn't have been the person I am today. I wouldn't have gotten as far as I got today. It's through that I learned. I always took new experiences and as a chance to learn, a chance to grow. And now I don't fear change. It is true you get a little anxious because you are getting out of your comfort zone, but I don't fear it. I'm actually quite excited about it, Move to a new city where I don't know anyone for a job. Yes, let's go. Why not? What's going to happen? I'm going to gain experience. I'm going to live in this new city. I'm going to learn more about that city. I'm going to meet new people. Why should I be scared? I moved to a new city after university for work and I tell people and they're like, oh, but do you know anyone there? And I'm like, no. It was the middle of the very well-known pandemic we had. And people was like, oh my God. And I'm like, so I'll figure it out. And I figured out, I had a great time. Now I'm back to another city. There's no problem. Why do we fear it so much? I think what's difficult for us is to embrace the unknown. As someone that really likes to plan some things and likes a routine, like I know what you're talking about. I know that thought of, I don't know what's going to happen. I want to change careers, but I'm so comfortable in this career. Why would I want to change? What if I change and I don't succeed? Well, you change and you don't succeed. What did you get? You get experience, you met new people. You found out you don't like that. That's a huge thing. How many people is out there trying to figure out what they want for their lives, want to study, and even after they study, they're like, oh, I don't know if I want to stay there, or I don't know if I want to work on this or work on that. If you don't embrace what you don't know and just go and try it, I know it sounds so obvious and you're just going to say, oh, but if you just go and try it, that's not that easy. I know it's not that easy. You need to have will and the power to tell yourself, I don't know about this. I don't know if it's going to work out, but I'm going to give myself the chance to try. And then you've got to reflect after you try. After giving, a couple of weeks, a few months, depending on the change, and you got to go back and be like, okay, so what did I learn? But then you reflect on that. You make a decision, you go through it, you wait some time and you're like, did I make the right decision? Was it right to move countries? Was it right to take this new job? Is it worth it? Is it worth it financially? Is it worth it personally? Am I having more time to spend with my family? Got to think about those things too. And sometimes we look around and we're like, how did I feel so scared about this to start with? I'm loving it. Or sometimes you just like, actually, didn't like it at all. Not for me. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to that other career. I'm going to go back to my home country. I'm going to go back with that person. I'm going to be friends again with this individual. And it's okay, because you went, you tried, and you saw and realized what you actually want. And that's so difficult. We don't need to be as scared of change. A little bit, because, it's getting out of our comfort zone. No one likes that, let's be honest. But we just gotta remember what's there at the end of it. What am I gaining out of this? And that's where the key is. In this episode, I want to share with you a few things we can use when you're going through that big transition, that big change, or something is about to happen, or whether you're afraid to take that change or not. I'll share a few tips, and I hope they help you, because I wish someone had told me this. The first one will be shift your mindset. Get rid of that thought of change is scary, change is anxiety, change is, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Change is the worst that can happen. That is, you're digging your own grave there. Do not do that to yourself. When you need to go through a change, or when you're thinking of taking a change, let's take an example. You're thinking of taking a change in careers, which is something I am very much for. I think I have a completely different career to what I'm doing here right now. And it was freaking scary to start this. One day I woke up and I thought, oh, I want to share experiences, because I like to help people. And I do in my work, but I just was like, I'm to do it in a different way. So let's try this. And here I am trying. If I hadn't shifted my mindset, if I hadn't been like, oh, everyone's going to see me, what they're going to think. Oh my God, what if it doesn't work out? If it doesn't work out, I had fun. I learned that I can do this. So what's the problem with it? You should do the same. Let's say you're thinking of changing your career. Right now, you are an accountant, and you decide that you don't want to be an accountant anymore. You want to do stand-up comedy. Why not? Give it a try. I'm not saying quit your life, quit your accountancy job, and just go and try it. Forget about everything else. Money doesn't matter. Let's be honest. We got to have a balance. We got to shift our mindset, but we always got to remember to have balance. You can start step by step. Give it a try. Reach out to people that are already in the industry. Just give it a try. Maybe in front of your family, do it in front of your friends. And give it a try. See how you feel. See how it feels to be there in front. See how the audience reacts with you. Is it something completely different? Yeah, but give it a try. Because it's not something that's going to happen just like that. No, it's not how it happens. Do it slowly. I do think once you do something, you need to focus totally on it, but we've got to be realistic. Most of us are not rich enough to just quit things and go and try it, so we got to be clever here. You start slowly. You're going to invest your time. It's going to be extra hard because you're going to come back from work and you're going to have to do more work. But give it a try. See how it works. Doesn't work, then doesn't work. If it works, then you can slowly start to shift into that change and see how it goes. And that jumped us on to the next one. The next tip. We can't expect a change happen overnight. I mean, very few changes happen overnight, but very big changes, they don't happen overnight. So you gotta know that if you're anxious now at the beginning, you gotta find a way to deal with that. Whether it is, maybe go and talk to people who have gone through that change, whether it is maybe doing exercise, some things that takes your mind off of that. Go and do those. Go and read about the topic. Are you trying to move countries? Well, then, is it a different language? Then start learning that language. Is it a different culture but the same language? Start reading, watching videos, watching series. Small changes. Start small. It's the same thing. You don't expect a baby to start running before it walks. They start small. Same goes with you. Start small. Do one step at a time. Write down, because the power of writing down things, it's true. Once you wrote it down, half of it is done, because you already acknowledge it. You already know what you have to do. Write it down. I'll see which one works best with me. Is it something very complex that perhaps I don't have the knowledge yet to do? Is it something very simple? Okay, I'll stick to this video. I'll watch it first. You can't just expect something to change just overnight. It doesn't work like that. The most important tip I can give you about change is reflect upon success or unsuccess, but reflect after the experience. This tip is what's going to make or break that change experience. Because if you don't reflect throughout the change and after it's happened, you look back and see, was it worth it? What did I get out of it? Do I want to stick with it? Do I want to go back? Do I want to make another change? You have to reflect on this, because if you don't, you're just not gaining the experience out of it. Because I can change jobs, look for a new job, run to another city, move countries, I can change partner, change my group of friends, but if I don't reflect, we'll never know whether I'm making the right choice or not. I can give you a personal experience. I had a really good job, and then I decided I wanted to do, it's within the same industry, but it was a big change in terms of, it was a huge step up, and it was a job I really wanted to do, and it was very high up. I was like, I know I have what it takes to do the job, but will they believe me that I do have what it takes? I had the experience. There's always going to be people that has more experience. And I knew, and that was scary, because there will be people that's been more years than me in this industry. I haven't been as many years, and I know for people to get to that level, it takes them decades. I was not even half a decade into it. I was 4 years into this career. I'm very unlikely going to get here, but I'll never forgive myself if I don't try, because it's really the job I want. It's exactly what the next step in my career I want to be. It's scary. And I'm not going to lie, I was like, I'm going to apply, but I don't think they're going to call me. They're probably going to laugh at my application when they see the amount of years I've been in the industry. It's a big step up, a very big step up. And I thought, what am I going to lose? The no, I already have it. I'll do the application the best I can. I'll do the personal statement the best I can. And it's not easy. It's so difficult to do applications. I'll do an episode on sharing tips on doing applications, because I think there's never enough tips in the world to do them. I work in healthcare and they're so particular. So I put on the application. I've done my bit. I don't think they're going to call me. I was very much like, I don't think they're going to call me. A couple of weeks later, I receive an email. You've been invited to an interview. An interview? Oh my God, what am I going to do at this interview? Oh no, I don't think. I think they just want to to check that, what's this person doing this? But I was like excited for the interview. So excited. I don't care, just even get the chance to see how an interview for this level of, this level is. But I was scared. At the beginning, I even rescheduled the interview. I'm not ready for this. I need to reschedule it. And then I was like, no, let's just go. Let's get it over with. Just do it. And what did I do? I went to people that are already at that level. I was like, do you remember how your interview was? Do you remember the sort of things they asked you about? And I just got some tips of the few things they could remember. I looked up online. It's quite difficult. I have to say, so difficult to find tips for scientists online. So you can barely find anything. So I have to go to them. Can you give me some tips? They're actually quite nice and give me some tips. And then I did the interview. I was very scared, very worried, so much so that I cannot remember what they asked me. But I got out and I was so excited. And I got the phone call. It was Friday. I remember this. She was like, I want to congratulate you. You got the job. I'm like, thank you so much. This is such an exciting experience. I just couldn't hide it. Sometimes people are like, you got to play it cool. Don't let them see how excited you are. But it's a big change. It's an exciting change. I'm very excited for this change. This is exactly what I wanted. So when I reflect back on that, I was like, imagine if the fear of change, if the anxiety, if that thought of like, I'm not good enough for this, they're never going to take me into consideration. Imagine if that fear of change had won over the brave side of like, give it a try. I wouldn't have gotten this job. I wouldn't have gotten this experience. I wouldn't have met these people. I wouldn't be at this level that I am at, and I'm very fortunate to be at. But it's all through hard work. It's all through taking chances. It's all about embracing the unknown sometimes. And you don't know what's going to happen. You can't always know what's going to happen. Just take the chance. I want you to remember, change is never easy, but it's almost always worth it. The only thing standing between you and the life you want, it is the first step. Take that first step. Think about what is that change that you have around your mind that pops in every so often and you just ignore it because you don't want to move away from that comfort zone. Think about that. Get paper. Then write down what it is that you have to do in order to get that change. Write what is the end goal. Then read, does this make sense? Is it actually a change I want to take? Think about that. But you have to take the first step. But if you are not the one that goes and takes the step, you'll never gain anything out of it. You're just going to stay in this constant line. Let's say, I don't know, you want to try out a business. You want to open a bakery, but you are in a completely different career. What are you going to gain? You love baking bread. You're going to enjoy making bread. You're going to learn more about baking bread. You're going to learn about business. Does the business not go well? What did you learn? I learned how to run a business. Maybe I don't enjoy running a business. Maybe I would rather work for a bakery. Write it down. Think about it, because if it crossed your mind, it's because there is something inside you that's needing something new. So don't let that thought go. Take the next step. Remember, change is never easy, but it's almost always worth taking. Think about it. Thank you very much for listening to me today in this Eliteness podcast. Remember, you have the power to create the life you want. Just one step, one choice, one day at a time. Until next time, take care and stay true to yourself. See you on the next episode. Bye!